Hello, and welcome to Modern Explorer, The Interviews. This is Glenn Norberg. Today I'll be talking with Adam. He's been fishing on the Arkansas River near Florence for years, and has had a couple of unexplainable things happen at his favorite spot. The events and circumstances just don't add up in any way. Oh, and please forgive the upcoming audio issues. I'm getting used to new gear and all. Anyway, sit back, relax, and help us come up with some answers as you listen to Adam's story.
Hello guys, my name's Adam, and I'm going to tell you about a possible Sasquatch story that happened to a buddy of mine and me out here about 20 years ago. So, right across the river here, right behind me, you'll see some cottonwood trees. And we were fishing over here about between 9:30 and 11:30 at night, doing a little bit of night fishing, trying to go for some catfish. And across the way over here, we heard what sounded like somebody was swinging an axe at one of these trees. It was completely dark over there. We couldn't see nothing. There's absolutely no light over there. All we can hear was what sounded like somebody chopping at a tree with an axe. We listened intently for a good probably 3 to 5 minutes, at which point we heard one of these cottonwood trees fall over, and at about that time our fishing adventure was done. We quit. We don't know what it was. It scared us. I couldn't tell you what, who, or where it was, but I know that one of these trees fell over because we heard it when it crashed. And like I said, it was dark, it was late, and it was scary.
What time of year was this?
This was probably in the fall time. This happened in the fall.
October?
It was probably September, October-ish.
Okay.
I would lean probably more towards September, the middle of September, late September, yeah.
20 years ago. At about what time do you think this was?
It happened between 9:30 and 11:30 at night.
So full dark.
It was dark.
Full dark, yeah.
The only light that we had was our headlamps to look at our gear. So basically we sat here in the dark. The cement plant that's over here in front of us has lights that come on at night. So they shed a little bit of light, but nothing that's going to bring light down here. So it was completely dark.
Now so you heard, describe the chopping sound you heard.
It's like when you take an axe and you're trying to split wood, and you take that axe and you strike the wood and you hear that chopping sound. It sounded like that, and there must have been between 15 and 25 chops. And we just listened and we tried to look to see what was going on, but you can distinctly tell it sounded like somebody hitting one of those trees with an axe, is what it sounded like. It wasn't branches breaking, it wasn't somebody hitting the tree with a stick. It sounded like they were swinging the tree with an axe. It's a very distinct, anybody that chops trees knows that sound. And very distinctive.
20 years ago, the plant here, the cement plant that's behind us, was still here.
Yes.
Running about as busy as it is now?
Just like it is right now.
Okay. Florence itself, a little bit smaller than it is now. Maybe a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh yeah, I'm certain of it.
Okay. But there were no lights over there.
No, there's no lights over there, and you can still come out here at night, and there's still no lights over there. And it looks like it did 20 years ago with all the vegetation you see there. It's all still. That's what it looked like 20 years ago. The only difference is that the tree that's right next to me actually fell over about 5 years ago, and now it's sitting in the river. But on the other side of the river, everything to me looks like it did 20 years ago. It's all the same vegetation. I still see some of the same trees standing up. I couldn't tell you where that tree was at. I just know that it was across the river, and it was in that general area of where those cottonwoods are over there.
Okay. So, you said it lasted, 15, 20 chops?
Probably about between 15 and 25.
It went down.
We heard the tree falling down.
Did you actually see any movement over there?
No, too dark.
Too dark.
Couldn't tell you what it was. But you know when you chop a tree and it's getting ready to fall, you hear that cracking, crack, crack, crunch, crumble, and then that tree topples. That's what it did. So I couldn't tell you how big that tree was, but it was big enough that we heard it fall.
And you left right afterwards?
Oh yeah, that was the end of that trip.
With the tree, did you hear, was there anything else that happened aside from the audio of the tree getting shot? Did you hear anything else? Did you see, was there anything else that comes to mind about that?
No, we didn't smell nothing. We didn't see anything because it was dark. So I like I said, I can't tell you who or what it was. As far as I know, it could have been a human over there, you know, cutting down a tree for firewood, but then you would think you would have seen a headlamp or something over there so they could see what they were doing.
Yeah.
But there was nothing over there. It was pitch dark.
And chopping down a cottonwood with an axe.
At between 9:30 and 11:30 at night it's weird.
Yeah.
Why?
You'd use a chainsaw.
One would think, I guess.
Right? Wow.
It was weird.
Okay.
That was a weird night.
And then you had a second encounter out here in this same spot.
I did.
And when was this?
This happened last year. The river, as you can see, it's real calm. The tree right here in front of me, like I said, it wasn't here. This tree fell down probably 5 years ago. And a beaver had ended up coming in here and invading the spot. This has been kind of a favorite fishing spot for us. But then once this beaver came in, I think it kind of took away from the good fishing we've had over here in past. He just got kind of invasive. But we had come up here last year. A buddy of mine did. And he was about where I'm at, and I was just right about 10, 15 feet over here behind me. And we were sitting here fishing, talking, and we heard a splash. And you can see it's pretty open. And at first I thought it might have been the beaver, but being as I've seen this beaver and I've fished around him, when he hits the water, his tail slaps. It slaps the water. What we heard was a distinct somebody threw a big rock in there and made a big splash. So I want to say that splash happened over here on the left side of where my buddy was at. Because when we heard the splash, I was looking down this way, and I'm sure he was looking in the front. So I know that splash had to have been over here on the left-hand side. So he actually thought I had threw a rock in the water, and I thought he had threw a rock in the water. So when he looked at me and I looked at him, we both kind of had that confused look, like, why'd you throw a rock in the water? But then we realized that neither one of us threw a rock in the water, and that splash was big. It was big. Now, could it have been a fish? I guess maybe it could have. I don't know. I've never seen a fish jump and make that kind of a splash, but I'm certain that they could. But I couldn't tell you because I didn't see what it was.
How long had you been fishing here that day before the splash?
Oh, probably an hour or so.
No splashes beforehand. You didn't see the beaver beforehand.
No. I don't recall seeing him that day. The other couple times we came out, we've seen him every now and then. But that day I don't recall seeing him.
And then.
So we were here for probably an hour, you know.
And then after that, how long were you here?
Probably another 45 minutes to an hour, maybe.
And you didn't see the beaver then?
No.
No other splashes?
No.
Anything else happen odd?
No. I mean, we saw a couple of fish jump, you know, and that was it. But nothing odd happened.
Okay. No. Well, Adam, thank you.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a mystery. We don't know what's going on.
It's this area out here. I've been here quite a few times, and those are the couple weird things I've seen, but they were experiences I'll never forget.
Now, you don't come out here at night anymore, though.
I have, but I come out with a couple of friends. I don't come out by myself.
Why is that?
Because I'm afraid of what's out here. This area is just kind of spooky to begin with, and to come out here at night, there's too many weird people out there, you know, so I don't come out here by myself.
Okay.
It's just not smart for me to come out here by myself at night.
Great. Well,
And then after hearing what I heard over there, I'm not about to come out here at night. I'm not coming out here at night by myself. No way.
so if you had to take a guess, seriously, what do you think did that chopping sound? What do you think was going on at that point? If you had to take a guess, I mean, if you had to try and apply something to it.
I don't know. I really can't put an answer on that because from what I heard, from the chopping to the tree falling down, I couldn't tell you what it was. I really don't know. I don't know. It was dark.
Okay.
I can't tell you what it was because I don't know. I can't even put an answer on that.
But you guys,
it was weird.
and
it was awkward.
No lights whatsoever.
Yeah. My buddy couldn't tell you what it was. You know, this was 20 years ago, so you know, I was in my early 20s when this happened. You know, late teens, early 20s. So I mean, it was weird.
Okay. Well,
It was an experience, no doubt. From the raccoons to the chopping sound that night, and we actually didn't come out here for quite a few years after that. I probably didn't come out here for a good 5 or 6 years after that happened.
interesting. Okay.
But
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go. More questions than answers on this one. If it was a guy cutting down the tree, why no lights so late at night? Why an axe? If it was a Sasquatch, why did it sound like an axe? As for the splash, if it was a beaver, where did it come from? Where did it go? Why did it slap in the middle of the day? If it was a fish, why didn't it sound like one? Anyway, I'd like to thank Adam for taking some time and sharing his experiences. If you or anyone you know would like to tell their story, whether it's from Fremont County, somewhere else in Colorado, or anywhere else in the world for that matter, please email us at encounters@modernexplorer.me. We'd be happy to document your experience. You can remain anonymous if you would prefer. We just want the stories documented. There's something going on.